want to integrate blockchain. Typically, like, how does my implementation funnel look like? How do I start if I'm doing with Acviss or any other similar product?
Yeah, so right now, like I said, the mandate is to provide a polygon which they can verify that this is coming from an area which is not deforested. And polygon building can happen. There are a lot of tools available which you can use. There are a lot of GIS tools available as well. So you can basically go around the boundary of your farm or wherever you're growing your cultivating your products and get the polygon done. Or a lot of companies also which provide that service, right? So for polygon, there are enough GIS companies, GIS systems available, but we also provide that as an additional service on top of our track and trace system. So it starts with creating the polygon of wherever you are growing your coffee or whatever your produces, and then once that is done, the next step is what is brought in, which is a track and trace system. So then we have for an user, it's a simple mobile application, right? You don't need to worry about setting up complicated systems.
From the mobile app itself, you're picking up the GPS and everything.
Absolutely. So you just need to download the app. Even through the same app, you can basically get your polygon defined. Same app is what you will then use to get the produce, digitize the system. You just need these labels that we provide, which we use to digitize the system, and that's about it. And
label, which is the digital twin, which you said.
Absolutely.
And that label becomes a physical indicator of the digital twin.
Correct. That becomes a physical indicator, and that also we have variants. So we have non-clonable labels in that case, because a simple label can be copied, right? So we also come up with a technology which basically prevents even that label to be non-copied, so that we protect not just the data but also the
authenticity.
Label itself, the authenticity also of the product.
Right. I guess the whole point is this, that if you're thinking, one is from a compliance perspective, but also from an environment perspective, tech like this is what, when they say you have to protect the environment, tech like this is which actually does that.
Absolutely.
So that's quite interesting.
Because now you don't just understand who are the people involved. Now you can also get to know more about them. You can then find out more about the practices they follow, right? I mean, in olden days, we used to have child labor for that matter, right? So you could also ensure that...
So that's another mandate which is coming, right?
Right.
I guess this is part of them having more ethical workplaces and all Absolutely. Of that. So the next thing they will clamp down is this.
To make sure that you have you follow the right practices, you don't follow
child labor,
unethical practices. I mean, good thing in India, I don't think child labor is present anymore,
right.
Unless in maybe smaller pockets. But in the olden days, I was saying, you obviously wanted to ensure that you can prove that this is what you do. You want to have the right certificates, right quality certificates. You want to ensure that if you have a factory, you're following the right processes. And even if you might have an ISO certification for that matter, right? So you can always attach these certificates as well as part of the track and trace network. So any product produced that gets in the hands of a consumer, they can understand not just the provenance, but also understand the various players, what are the practices they follow, are they compliant with local laws, what are the quality standards they have, do they have any quality certifications, etc. So it makes it much more valuable now because it gives you a single platform for you to
so we talk about quality, we talk about ethics, we talk about transparency and authenticity, but what you're saying is using tech, you make all of this tangible
and available easily,
right?
Because now it would have been available at various places. Now it's on a single platform where I can see this, I can understand what's happening, and I mean that's the beauty of it.
So what are some future trends and developments you expect EODR going into? What do you think they'll ask for next? What do you think, how much more complicated it will get, or what's happening? Where do you see this going?
I think besides the regulation, I think if you think of the greater good of the world, I think one, how do you arrest climate change? So around that, what are the sustainable practices? Companies may be asked to also talk about the carbon credits or the carbon emissions that happen because of the processes that they follow, right? So they may have to also have some kind of certification that they may want to show as part of their manufacturing process about the carbon emissions for that matter, right? In addition to that, in terms of technology for that matter, I think AI is going to play a very important role.